three brand new upcoming space games. Two of them I haven't discussed at all on this channel before, and they will both look very interesting. The other one, the third one, is Starminer. We have mentioned that in the past here, but we got some new information on that. So we're going to look at all three of these games, and in my opinion, they're all looking pretty darn good. So, if you've been looking for a brand new homeworld game, but with some additional depth, as well as some direct ship piloting, or maybe a brand new Hegemonia game with the same additional features, now there's going back a ways, well, Era One could be something that's worth looking at. Era One is an upcoming space game that combines survival, space battle simulation, and real-time strategy. Now, Era One has a massive focus on ship customization. It's all about building your own ship to suit your own agenda, your own goals, as well as your own playstyle. The interface has been designed to assist with this because obviously it could get pretty complex, so it's been made relatively straightforward. And that basically means that no matter what's going on, whether you're in the heat of combat or whatever else, you can design your own ships and stations no problem. To assist with this, there's also a blueprint function which will allow you to recreate pre-built ships rapidly, and you'll be able to use them in future games as well. But it's not all about building and constructing. There's a heavy element of combat here, and players can actually have quite a bit of control over their units, dictating formations as well as maneuvers. So that really does assist with strategy and combat. What's more, the ships apparently are going to be smart enough to break formation where they need to, before then returning to formation. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on here with unit management and tactical combat. In fact, there's also apparently some patrolling systems here which will enable for the creation and modification of patrol routes, and this should really add to some of the tactical elements when it comes to combat. Now, when it comes to ship classes, there's a variety of different options here. There's three main classes. This includes fighters, mech guns, and warships. In fact, players can also build their own large modular warships, and these in turn can be equipped with their own command units, engines, and armaments. Based upon what we've been told, it seems as though players will be able to directly fly the warships from inside the cockpit. So yeah, that makes a pretty interesting addition to this game. Graphically, the game looks really interesting. They've gone for a nitty-gritty, realistic look, but also that also has its own style. I do like the visual elements here. It's something I'm quite looking forward to actually getting hands-on with when this actually releases. And the visuals are actually more than just superficial, because the game does feature a dynamic deformation and damage system, and that should go a long way to make battles looking very visually interesting, to say the least. It looks like there's definitely a lot going on with this game then. It seems as though there's going to be a lot of depth to it. The game currently has a release date for the 30th of September this year. That is releasing into early access over on Steam. So definitely one worth keeping an eye on. Something I'm certainly interested in myself. Just look at the really interesting ship designs here. Something quite different from what we traditionally see. Now, another space game. This one is an indie title, so do keep that in mind as you're watching and listening to all of this. Is Warped Space. It's an indie survival game, and it promises to be a deep space exploration experience. Now, it's been developed since 2021, and the game immerses players into a cosmos filled with various different wonders and lurking dangers. The game itself offers a single-player experience where you adventure and survive and explore space. Now, in Warped Space, players begin their journey armed with a customizable spaceship, and in addition to spaceships, by the way, there's also an FPS element here. You can get out of your ship. Overall, the ship serves as both a vehicle and a base, and the ship can be outfitted with various modules, including primary and secondary weapons, and these can be used to fend off hostile forces. Now, it's also possible to utilize a tractor beam in the game, and players can mine asteroids and salvage debris and gather essential resources to enhance both their ship as well as their crafting abilities. Now, a standout feature here of Warped Space is the ability to exit the ship, as I previously mentioned, so you'll be able to explore on foot. That's always a nice touch. Now, survival in Warped Space goes beyond resource gathering. Players must establish and defend their own space habitats, and these sanctuaries are crucial for survival, but they also attract hostile alien forces. So to protect their habitats, players can craft automated turrets as well as other defensive facilities, and this should add a bit of a strategic layer to the game. The game's atmosphere ultimately is designed to keep players on edge, with biomechanical life forms and a hostile alien presence adding tension and a bit of intrigue, hopefully. While the full narrative remains shrouded in mystery, there's nothing much said about that. The developer has suggested that there will be a story that players can uncover through exploring the secrets of the galaxy. So warp space should hopefully be a bit of an interesting experience and give the opportunity to both survive and explore into space, as well as uncover some mysteries out there whilst at it. Unfortunately, Steam isn't showing a release date on this one just yet, so potentially it needs a bit more time cooking to give the best experience. Definitely another one that's worth keeping an eye on though, and hopefully something I'll be talking about again in the not too distant future. Next up, we've got a bit of new information and some new footage on the upcoming Starminer. Now, Starminer is developed by Cool and Good Games and it's going to be published by Paradox Arc. It's a space game that blends real-time strategy and simulation. Here, players can pilot massive warships through asteroid fields to mine resources even, manage fleets and build mining stations. Now, it also seems that players can have some direct control over their ships, and yes, overall it seems there's a little bit of overlap with Era One. Ultimately, the game is all about building a massive mining-focused empire. Now, the new footage is about a minute long, and it poses the question as to whether players want to build their empire based on smaller ships, or whether they want to build a massive-looking, I guess what we could term as a dreadnought. It looks like then that players will have quite a bit of options with Starminer as to how they want to approach the overall game. This is another title that's going into early access at some point in 2024, and another one I'm very curious to see how that actually turns out. So there we have it, 3 upcoming space games, all of them are looking very interesting, and hopefully at least 2 of them we should be seeing this year. Do check out the other video linked on the screen right here. I'll catch you next time. And do take care. Or whether they want to build a massive-looking, I guess what we could term as a dreadnought. It looks like then that players will have quite a bit of options with Starminer as to how they want to approach the overall game. This is another title that's going into early access at some point in 2024, and another one I'm very curious to see how that actually turns out. So there we have it, 3 upcoming space games, all of them are looking very interesting, and hopefully at least 2 of them we should be seeing this year. Do check out the other video linked on the screen right here. I'll catch you next time, and do take care.